Hi there, and welcome to the Daily Gardener, an almanac of garden history, literature, and small botanical joys. I'm Jennifer Edling, and today is March 23rd. Today is about the twisty lives of gardeners, a garden history icon, a founding gardener with a ruined reputation, a botanical artist discovered by chance, a new gardener who wrote one book and became beloved, and a Victorian gardener who spent a lifetime doing the work, earning trust, building relationships, and leaving behind wisdom shaped by soil, glass, and grapevines. Here's today's garden history. It was on this day in 1699 that the American botanist John Bartram was born. He's often called the father of American botany. But before the title, before the letters, and before the visitors and plant lists, John was a farmer, a man in a field, a plow in his hands, and then came the moment that changed him. He stopped to rest and pick a common daisy, not just to admire it, just to pass the time, but as he studied it, something in him snapped awake. The complexity, the structure, the astonishing intelligence of an ordinary flower. Later, John wrote that he felt ashamed that he had spent years turning the soil and destroying plants without understanding what plants were made of. So he did something radical. He left the plow, he left the field, and he went to Philadelphia for books, botany, Latin, the language of naming. It was the beginning of his self-taught education. By 1728, John had created what became Bartram's Garden along the Schuylkill River just outside Philadelphia, what many consider America's oldest surviving botanic garden. And then John began shipping plants across the Atlantic. Seeds, roots, specimens, North American life, packed into wooden boxes and sent to collectors, estates, and gardens in Britain and beyond. John didn't just collect plants. He changed what people wanted to grow. Everyday gardeners paid attention to what John was doing. So did the elites. So did presidents and future presidents. Plant taste shifted. Gardens loosened. Native magnolias, mountain laurels, unfamiliar shrubs and trees. Plants that looked like the land itself had chosen them. And somewhere inside that work was a quiet promise that wonder can begin in the most ordinary place, a field, a pause, a daisy in your fingers, and grow into a lifetime of devotion. And it was on this day, in 1829, that the British botanist Richard Anthony Salisbury died. Richard helped build the world of modern horticulture, not just with plants, but with institutions. Richard was one of the founding figures behind the Horticultural Society of London in 1804, the organization that would later become the Royal Horticultural Society. Richard cared about the serious side of gardening: classification, records, introductions, the painstaking business of getting things right. But Richard is also remembered for the moment when his career unraveled. In 1809, the Scottish botanist Robert Brown presented groundbreaking research on the Proteaceae, a large, striking plant family that includes Proteas and Banksias. Richard attended the presentation. What followed was devastating. We don't know whether Richard had been working independently on the same group of plants, but what we do know is how it looked. Material appeared in print almost immediately, published under the name of his gardener, Joseph Knight. And at a time when being first was rewarded, priority meant authority. Even a rushed first could outweigh a careful second. Richard made a choice under that pressure, whether it was ambition, recklessness, or something darker. It cost him everything. The response was swift. Colleagues turned away. Trust evaporated. He was never welcomed back. Richard's story reminds us that gardens and garden institutions have always had a shadow side. Status, credit, ownership, who gets named, and who gets erased. The garden world is built not only from beauty and skill, but from reputation and trust. In today's Unearthed Words, we meet the Victorian botanical artist Arabella Elizabeth Roupell, born on this day, March 23rd, in 1817. Arabella lived and worked in 19th century Britain, at a time when women's scientific work was often unnamed. Arabella happened to meet the Danish botanist Nathaniel Wallach, a central figure in Britain's botanical world. Nathaniel recognized her talent immediately and urged her to publish. But when her lovely book of South African flowers appeared in 1849, it carried no author's name. It was simply called Specimens of the Flora of South Africa by a Lady. In the preface, Arabella wrote, "The original drawings of the plants in the following plates were made from specimens collected at the Cape of Good Hope a few years ago during a temporary residence in that colony. They were made solely for the amusement of leisure hours." No biography, no claim, just plants rendered with patience, accuracy, and care for amusement. And yet, Arabella left clues. The final tailpiece in the book features the beautiful, fragrant, climbing oleander, Roupellia grata, the only non-South African plant in the volume. It was a small signature disguised as a specimen. The clues worked, and her identity became known, and Arabella republished the work under her own name, this time with a dedication to Nathaniel, thanking him for the encouragement that ensured her work would not fade. It's time to grow that garden library with today's book, Down the Garden Path by Beverly Nichols. It's Beverly Nichols Week here on The Daily Gardener, which means all of the book recommendations for this week feature books devoted to Beverly's singular garden voice, witty, observant, theatrical, and deeply personal. Beverly was a journalist, a novelist, and a critic who turned gardening into literature. Down the Garden Path was published in 1932, and it was his first gardening book and his biggest success. Beverly once admitted that when he started to garden, he knew almost nothing, except that he wanted beauty desperately and was willing to make a fool of himself to get it. Here's how he put it: "I was ignorant, confident, and absurdly hopeful, and I plunged in without the faintest idea of what lay before me." Down the Garden Path isn't a manual, it's a confession. Beverly gives us the drama of making a garden for the first time. The big hopes, the wrong turns, the neighbors with opinions, and the way a garden becomes a mirror for desire, vanity, patience, and pride. A garden changes your inner life, whether you realize it or not. And finally, here's something sweet to ignite the little botanic spark in your heart. It was on this day in 1830 that the Victorian head gardener William Taylor was born. William spent decades working behind the scenes at Longleat in Wiltshire, England, a vast estate best known for its gardens and glass houses. There, William perfected the cultivation of grapes under glass, and he earned a reputation for precision, honesty, and deep practical knowledge. William was trusted by the Marquis of Bath and by the next generation of the family, and by fellow gardeners who respected his judgment. Over the course of his life, people learned from William in person through tours, conversations, long seasons side by side, and through his book, Vines at Long Leat. It became a standard, trusted because it was written from observation, not theory. William gave away what he knew so that others could grow grapes without estates, without prestige, just patience and care. William did the work, and then he shared it. As we close the show today, remember, some gardeners become icons, some fall from favor, some hide in plain sight, and some give everything they know away. Most gardeners do the work quietly and then slip from view. The garden remembers them anyway. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener. And remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day.